All right. Yeah. Mic check 1 1 2. Mic check 1 2. All right, Shalom. You reached the He Prayed channel. My name is Ozzy Mawath. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakhakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of 71319, where I learned this truth from and who rule well. Salutations to the Bakiyar, the elect, the 144,000. That's 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel consist of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America. The 144,000 being the governing body within the one-third. The rest of the one-third comprises of men, women, and children. Shalom to those Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth due to the diaspora and also the triangular trade. So our people will come looking like many ethnicities, having many complexions. So it's not a black thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just Hebrew Israelites. Shalom to those that died in this truth. It says the dead should be raised up first. Those that will be accompanying Yahweh Shah on his return, including our King, King Mashah, who was King David. And as always, it's an honor and privilege, honor and blessing to continue to do this work. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for answering my prayers and permitting me to do such. Baba Kashah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah allowed us to be an edifying lesson to at least one member of the elect. So I guess you heard it through the grapevine, right? Big bad Trump. Watch out. You never seen a bad guy like him, right? This is Edom will be humbled. Now Edom is dealing with you so-called white people, right? Which you started to call yourself white, but you're not white. You're translucent. You're really red. You are the Edomites in the Bible that would rule in the end of days, and you would rule wickedly. And now judgment is coming. This is the first verse of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor, a report from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Now, this is an actual individual, man. There's actual individuals that are in the scriptures, that are prophetically in the scriptures in these times. Now, that ambassador is talking about Gamal Abdel Nasser, who became the second president of Egypt from 1954 until his death in 1970. And he had the famous phrase, how did the Jews leave black but come back white? You know, as by that time, the whole concept of race and color, was prevalent. But the Heavenly Father, he deals with nations. And he's not about integration, he's about segregation. But the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man who is Esau, he wants to bring everybody together so he can rule over them as if he was a god. But now we're in the times in which he's going to get rolled down the rocks. It says, "We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. But now there are many ambassadors of the heathen that are speaking against you devils, man." It says, "Arise ye, and let us rise up against her and battle." So this is what's going on now, man. You got these nations thinking they tough. And that's the Most High, that's the Heavenly Father putting the Spirit on them. Just as He's going to put the Spirit on 2/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous to move according to His anger. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles." Which the Gentiles are speaking about you heathen nations in this verse. "Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears." So go from a agricultural based economy to an industrial economy. Now we're in the fourth industrial revolution, which they're trying to create the Internet of Bodies and implementing biocompatible devices inside of you, right? It says, "Let the weak say I am strong." So these once weak nations are saying that they're strong because they have what? The nuclear weapon. "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh." So even the angels are going to be involved. "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat," which is Yahweh's judgment, which is in the Levant. If you know what the Levant is. "For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." And to judge, meaning He's going to destroy you. He's bringing destruction, slaughter. And He's going to put it in your minds to accomplish His will, man. There's nothing you people could do. Whatever the Heavenly Father wants you to do, you're going to do it. And right now, He's controlling the minds of you leaders to engage in World War III, which is going to lead to the second death, which is nuclear destruction. Verse 13, "Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great." And guess who the grapes are? The grapes are you people. And your wickedness is great. You got homosexuality rampant. You don't know, you can't define a woman. You're teaching your children to be sexual deviants. You got a lot of witches and warlocks running around, palm readers, mediums, Hollywood medium, all these things, including the fact that you stole the jewels of the Heavenly Father, which is His children, is the reason why you people are about to be wiped off the face of the earth, man. And you heathens. It says, "Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and moon shall be darkened because of nuclear winter, and the sun and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter His voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake." Yeah, because the Heavenly Father is sending His Son to bring about such a devastating destruction on you so-called white people, you Edomites, that it's going to cause the whole world to reel to and fro. It's going to cause the world to shake, the devastation that He's about to bring to you so-called white people, man. And there's no way you can escape. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. It says, but Yahweh will be the hope of his people. His people are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous. And if you happen to look like any of these heathen nations, including these Edomites, if your line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you believe in this truth, this new song, the new song entails the destruction of America, right? This is the new song that we're singing, the destruction and the deliverance out of America. It says, in the strength of the children of Yasha Allah, he is Prince of the power, Yahshar Allah. So shall you know that I am Yahweh, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain, his separated government, right? Because that's what mountains and hills represent. They represent governments. It says, then shall Jerusalem be holy, be separate, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore, meaning we're never going to be conquered again, man. Going back to Obadiah, verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. You art greatly despised. And that's what the Heavenly Father has done, man. And it's because you ruled with the sword, right? This is this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So the modern day king of Babylon at this present time, Donald J. Trump, and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. Because eventually, Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai is going to lead you to your destruction. And there will be no more America. There will be no more Edomite supremacy. It says, Yahweh have broken the staff, which is his power, of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, because America holds the scepter of the rulers. He's the supreme ruler on earth. That's why he takes it upon himself, these Edomites, to police the world. It says, he who smote, he who killed, well, smite means to kill, smote pretty much means to strike. The people in wrath with a continual stroke. So you Edomites, you only been at peace for less than 30 years, man, here in America. Other than those 30 brief years, it has been nothing but war, where you smote the people in wrath with the continual stroke. It says, he that ruled the nations in anger all the way half the world away, trying to dictate what somebody's doing, knocking on people's doors and shaking them down, man. You know, sending your economic hitman to do regime changes, starting proxy wars, starting false flags, just to conquer a country to conquer their resources. It says it's persecuted and none hindereth. So ain't nobody gonna stop. No nation on earth is gonna stop you from being destroyed. And matter of fact, even your own allies, NATO, the EU, they're prophesied to turn against you and shoot their missiles on you. And look how you're treating them with all these tariffs, 500% tariffs, 35% tariffs. Oh, we're going to annex Canada. They don't have no sovereignty. So when you're destroyed, verse 7, it says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing because there ain't going to be any wars no more. That's all it had. That's all it took was for the white man to be destroyed, for there not to be any wars anymore. Going back to Obadiah, verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Now, it just so happens you call yourselves Caucasian, Caucasian meaning cave dweller. It says, those that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, it says your pride have deceived thee, because really the Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Father, gave you your wisdom. And now he's causing you to err all the way to your destruction. It says whose habitation is high. That's why you have 100-story, maybe even 200-story skyscrapers in all these major cities, man. Just as an eagle, right? Which is your mascot. It's your symbol. It's the American eagle. It says that saith in his heart, which is your mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's the mind of all you damn devils. You don't think nobody can touch you, despite you not ever winning a war. You just bomb these countries to shit. But in order to really subjugate them, you will have to kill them all, because generation after generation, they're going to remember the trauma that they suffered by your hands, man. And now the Heavenly Father is going to cause you and your children to suffer that trauma. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, the highest flying bird, the most proudest, and though thou set thy nest, which is your defense, among the stars, you got defenses in outer space that is pointing not toward Earth, but toward space, in hopes that you might have a chance in trying to defeat Yahweh Shai on his return. It says, thence will I bring thee down. So you started to build your defense in outer space in the 60s. 1969 is when your downfall started. Saith Yahweh, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Yeah, because you're going to be completely destroyed, man. It says, would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Yeah, because people ain't just gonna take everything. They'll probably just decimate you, right? Just take a tenth or 1/10, you know, and then they'll leave the rest. It says, how are the things that Esau, which is Ashashua in the Hebrew, searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And this is the funny part. It says, all the men of thy confederacy, going back to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, All your allies, all these different nations you ally with to keep the true children of Israel in the state that they're in. It says, have brought thee even to the border, right? To the border of destruction. Because all those allies that you had, they're going to encircle America and they're going to shoot all their missiles on you, all their weaponry, all their arsenals going to be shot on you. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Everybody's playing you. Just like you got played out of your birthright. Just as our forefather Yaquab played you out of your birthright, man. You got deceived. You got finessed. You got supplanted. And here it is. You thought you was special. It says, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, deal with your money system, have laid a wound under thee. Right? Because they starting not to deal with the dollar no more, man. As a matter of fact, I think I read an article stating that they ain't dealing with the dollar no more. The BRICS nations. It says there is none understanding in him because he don't bring nothing but confusion, man. And then you got this asshole in office, they call him Taco, which if you always chickening out, that means you ain't bringing nothing but confusion because what a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, man. And what's it going to take for one of these cities to get wiped off the face of the earth? Well, hell, all of America is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. It says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? So you're going to see a decline, and as you already see a decline, look at them, man. You got these fucking Edomites wearing painted toenails, man. Painting their toenails. Men painting their toenails purple, man. And effeminate. It says, in understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty man, O Teman, which is Germany, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So everyone of the government of Esau, Joshua, is going to be cut off by slaughter. Whether it be in these civil wars, whether it be in these world wars. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. And then you parade around the world as if you ain't doing nothing to him. You ain't setting them back. You ain't built the system to keep them down. And you didn't pay these people off to create the illusion that you could make it with this fiat money, man. That ain't even worth shit. It says, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So you're going to get cut off forever, man. And we're in these times now. Let me see. I'm going to do Badabu today.
It seems Donald Trump has just upped the ante between Russia and the United States here. He has openly responded to the former president of Russia, Medvedev, who has made some pretty wild statements as of late in terms of nukes, in terms of them using them if forced to. And Trump is now strong-arming and firing back, and he has posted on his Truth Social what you can see here. He's responding to these provocative statements made from Russia, and he says that he has ordered in response 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions. just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. He says words are very important and can often lead to an unintended consequence. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention on this matter. That is what Trump states on his Truth Social. He has ordered nuclear subs into position somewhere. We don't know where. He hasn't let that be known, obviously, and they're creeping. So this is like an open threat to Russia of nuclear war, that if you want to run your mouth, we've got nuclear subs positioned to strike and hit at any time. So I would pay attention to these things, because this isn't the Trump of the last administration. As you've seen, they will back strikes even going into Iran, and Moscow's been getting hit constantly by Ukraine as it is, backed by the West. So it raises the question, will a nuke fly, tactical nukes or anything like that? Well, this is a big development here. I'll update on this as I get more. Follow me on X and join me for the live streams, going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Dabu77.
Yep, so pretty much you could cancel Christmas, man. And with that, I hope at least one brother elect was edified. And I'm going to say shalom.